let me start with a short introduction. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Real Transformations. My guest today calls himself Mr. 360 Degree, and very soon you're going to understand why. That's equal parts, both swagger and smarts. Amit is a CFA, an MBA, and he has studied at a variety of Ivy League colleges as well, including Wharton, Stanford, Yale, and the list is endless. He started his career at McKinsey, and presently he's the Chief Investment Officer at Dime Holdings, which is a vehicle for investment and strategic partnerships in Saudi Arabia. However, this wasn't enough, as Amit himself states that he likes to stay in a state of permanent dissatisfaction. Amit always wanted to transform his body, and after many years of struggle and frustration, he has succeeded. His pictures say it all, and he is carving a very special niche for himself as being a CXO with a fabulous body and brand endorsements to his credit. But wait, it doesn't end here. Amit is also very fond of writing, and he has featured in several publications such as the BBC, Bloomberg, Outlook Money, and presently he is an active columnist with 20 international magazines. He is also into Vedic astrology, and he is running a mentorship program at his alma mater, Delhi School of Economics. So without further ado, let me invite our guest for today, Amit Marwah. Welcome to Real
Divya.
Transformations, Amit.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on the show. First of all, I must say that you're looking absolutely fabulous as always.
Thank you. You're
And
looking fabulous too. Fit and fabulous.
thank you. And must congratulate you for the concept of the show, which is absolutely amazing. And thank you for the opportunity.
Great. So, Amit, your story is truly magical and full of transformations. Now, tell me something. You're a CFA, an MBA, and you've studied at Ivy League colleges. Would you describe yourself as ambitious?
Uh, I would like to believe so. Yes, I think I'm very ambitious. And so much so, I very sort of firmly believe that, a man's worth is no greater than his ambition. It's your ambitions which defines you in life. And I have a very long list of, short-term and long-term goals, which I chase very conspicuously, and people around me know that very well. And I do intend to kick each of those goals out of the park. So yes, you can call me ambitious in that sense.
Now, in the year 2008 and 9, when the world was grappling with the Lehman crisis, you relocated from Delhi to Riyadh. Tell us about that in terms of how that transformed your life and how did that transform you as a person?
That's an interesting question. See, back in '08 and '09, I think Saudi Arabia was pretty much insulated from the shocks of global financial crisis. The decade which preceded the whole financial crisis, I think Saudi Arabia was blessed with a lot of ample liquidity, cash flows, and like I said, almost a decade of absolutely spectacular oil profits. So which was holding the country in a very, very good light when the crisis was beginning. Even since then, I think Middle East in general and Saudi Arabia in particular has been in the midst of an absolutely spectacular change, whether it's social, economic, cultural. So this has been the place to be in, for the last 10 years. So that way, I think the timing of the whole shift was very well planned. As far as the opportunity is concerned, I would call it, a very, very nice combination of, I would say, luck and my constant quest to continue chasing something which is out of the ordinary. Though I think at that point in time, the whole decision to relocate to Saudi was looked by all the peers, even the leadership at the organization at that time, in a very, very circumspect way. And you were there in DTZ, I think
Yes,
2008-9. So I still
yes, we
remember
work together.
I still remember having those discussions with Rajiv, very many times, heated discussions with Rajiv. where he was questioning if this is the right way to go. And he was very right. He was sort of looking out for my best interest. And a lot of peers, because at that point in time, I was looking to join this startup in an uncertain country like Saudi Arabia, and people did not have much of a clue about Saudi at that point
Right.
in time. Yeah. Yep. So
So how
it
did
was
you
a
take
tricky
the
call.
plunge? It
So
was a bit like jumping into a dark abyss. How did you take the plunge?
see, like I said, I've always been chasing something, something out of the ordinary. And when I met the leadership of this group at that point in time, it was absolutely mind blowing. It's like, maybe sometimes you have an opportunity, you can't say no to the kind of people who are behind the organization, coming from absolutely fantastic historical lineage, and very well known in the Middle East as well as back in Europe. And I think it was a very good call, because I still call it the best professional decision of my life till now, because as I got the opportunity to build almost 5 businesses in the Middle East, all of them multi-million dollar businesses, massive, expanded across the region. And if you see most people, they build their careers around one transaction, around one deal, and that is
Right.
sufficient to sort of give them a very, very solid career. Here, looking in hindsight, I got the opportunity to create 5, that too completely from scratch, ground zero, rolling my sleeves, getting into the whole, into the mud, sorting out issues. And all these companies were very big. All of them were billion-dollar enterprises, and very interestingly, from different parts of the world. So in one year I'm sort of working with a company which is American, another year it's Swedish, then Spanish, then French, and the kind of nuances you
Hmm.
learn, the cultural nuances, the different ways of doing business. It's absolutely spectacular. You don't really get that opportunity working in a plain vanilla setup. Like I said, in hindsight, a fantastic opportunity, literally turned my life 360 degrees, career as well. So very happy I took the plunge, and credit to people who pushed me at that point in time.
Yeah, and you were talking about these cultural nuances. Do you remember, or can you think of anything interesting, like difference between, let's say, Sweden or the Middle East, or something interesting that you can narrate to us,
I think
just
it's
off the bat?
absolutely, absolutely. Just to sort of thinking out loud. If you look at American people, so they are very, very
Hmm.
easy to get along. So you start working with, let's say, an American CEOs who's come down to Saudi. So these people would be sort of very upfront in talking about what's in their mind, straight away. Without a lot of thinking, a lot of time spent, and they will discuss their personal sort of stuff with you as well. How are they feeling, and you can do that with them as well. Whereas if you talk about some of the Europeans, let's say French, they will not open up to you, and it's nothing wrong in that. It is just their culture, that they take time before building personal bonds. So
Right,
you have to
that's
act
correct.
accordingly. So if you have, because in my role when I was building a particular company and we started a company, so you have, let's say, one CEO coming down from that particular joint venture. So you got to spend that 1 year with that senior guy, doing the whole hog. So in case you don't understand those financial, those fine nuances, you're not going to get along with them. So it is a critical
Right.
part of getting to know them. And there are many. I
I
think.
got the bit where you were talking about the cultural nuances. So, can you talk to us about a moment of professional satisfaction for you?
That's an interesting question as well. Just to sort of think on that. Okay, so there's a very interesting and nice anecdotal story,
Okay.
which I would like to share with the audience. So when I was in my MBA college, I think
Hmm.
the first year I was pretty much enamored by being a marketer. Everybody gets that feeling in the first year. Oh, you are very creative. You can write a few lines, and you have good ideas. You're very creative. You're gonna be the next creative block, busting onto the screen. So I was pretty interested in becoming a creative guy. I used to look up to Prasoon Joshi,
Okay.
who's very famous now, but even at that point in time, he was very popular. So I used to write jingles, I used to create ads, and very, very sort of interested in making a mark in the marketing and advertising industry. Thank God I did not. Otherwise, I would have to compete with you, which is which is very difficult. Which is very difficult. So yeah, so
Maybe we could
and
have worked together.
we still are. So
Yeah.
no losses there. So yeah, so so I wanted to work in the number one advertising agency in the
Okay.
world. And because ours was more of an international business and international finance specialization, so these companies
Hmm.
didn't used to come to our college. So I, literally in a very, very fancy, filmy style, walked into the office of this biggest advertising, global agency. I don't want to name it, might
Sure.
create controversy. And I used to go there, 2 weeks, every day straight, sitting in front of the office, just wanting to talk to anybody in the creative department. At the end, they
Wow.
got tired of seeing my, not so good looking face, and they said, "Okay, what do you want?" I said, "I want to work in creative." They said, "No, we
Hmm.
don't let, freshers, basically, kids off the block, come and work in creative departments. You can work in the marketing side or client relationship, but certainly not in the creative side." Anyhow, cutting the long story short, managed to get into it. Spend 2.5, 3 months there, and to the envy of everybody, every marketing prospect in the college. The name is Ogilvy. You probably know them very well.
Yes.
And so after that I realized, okay, not really my cup of tea. I'm more of a transaction finance and corporate finance kind of a guy. Anyhow, very recently, I went to the holding company of that particular group, and pitched them a co-investment opportunity in London. So this was like a whole 360-degree turn, from literally begging them for an internship, to sitting on the same table, with the CEO of the group, and talking on an equal footing. I think was a huge amount of satisfaction. So yes, these are the kind of thrills and kicks which keeps me going, and I sort of look forward to. So that's an example of what you can call a corporate you know achievement, or some sort of satisfaction, like a whole 360 degree, from the start.
Interesting. Now, Amit, we've been getting a lot of questions from our viewers about your physical transformation. So we're going to dive straight into that. Just before I do, if you can just come towards the center of the frame.
Okay.
I think after you've logged back, you're on the side and we're
Is it
not able
better?
to see you. Yes, this is perfect. Yes,
Okay,
now you're in the center.
just before we dwell into that, I think you have done a fantastic amount of research on me, and so have I. So my
Okay.
my sources tell me that during your IM Lucknow days, you used to throw this lavish parties to the peers as well as professors, and these were specifically very, very known for the kebabs, which I think either your husband used to make, or it used to come from his restaurant. I don't know what's the whole scoop, but that's what my sources tell me. And the same sources which told me this, they also told me that you were fantastic in marketing, and I think you topped the marketing subject, the
Yes.
applied marketing strategy. So I have
Yes.
my sources as well, to dig
Yes.
deep.
Awesome. I had a word with this source in the morning, and
Really?
he sends you his best wishes without naming him, and he sends you his best wishes, and he said, and in fact, he had a couple of questions for you again on your transformation.
He's a
So,
fantastic guy.
thanks to him,
He's a rock star of I Am Lucknow. I
and
must say, you
and
guys were blessed to have him as your professor. He was
yes,
absolutely great. And one more thing, I think, when you're talking about the whole ambitious thing, there's one more thing I want, sort of to share about me. Might hit the right notes with the people who want to do unconventional stuff in life.
right,
Is that the thing? If I were to introduce myself and talk about myself, how would I do it? To see, I am very, very cognizant of the fact, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I know that for a fact. I don't fool myself. I'm not the most good looking, neither am I the most eloquent of speakers you will come across, nor the most talented. But what is uniquely distinctive about me is my absolutely insane hustle. So I have this, how do I put it? Absolutely ridiculous and sickening amount of passion for going after the things I want. So that is my differentiator. So what I'm trying to say is that it's
That's
not.
your USP.
Yes, it is not how talented you are. It's not which background you're coming from, and it's my thing is, and I'm sure it's gonna take me to my goals. I haven't even started, but that is my USP. And if I were to quote, let's say, one of my favorite people, Will Smith, here a couple of lines, which really resonates with me, is that if you and me get on a treadmill, and treadmill here is completely a metaphor. Um, is that either you gonna sort of get off the treadmill, or I'm gonna die on it. So you can't outwork me. So that is my USP. You cannot outwork me. You cannot beat the hustle, and that's my sort of message as well. It's the guy who always hustles who end up getting a loose ball. Then you can call him lucky, being at the right place at the right time. You must have heard this phrase. He was at
Yes.
the right place at the right time. I believe that it's the hustle. The more you hustle, the more loose balls you're gonna get. So that's the sort of kind of a thing I would want to share, if anybody can sort of draw a leaf out of that book.
Yeah, that's excellent, and thank you for sharing that straight from the heart. So you wear your heart on your sleeve, huh, Amit?
I do.
Okay,
Take it back
so
a little.
the first question people want to know is, so you spoke about the hustle,
Yep,
but really, what
that's right.
inspired you to push yourself to get the kind of physique that you have right now, and where did you start? So, like, what was your weight around then? How did you go about this entire process? Can you take us through that? And are
See,
you still hustling?
oh yes, that's my life.
Amit, can you come a bit closer? I'm
Yep,
losing you.
yep.
Yeah, okay. That's better.
Okay. So see, I've always been working out. It's not that it came out of the blue. But the kind of, not with the kind of same zeal and passion that we have done over the last couple of years, or year and a half. So what started as an initiative to sort of feel more confident, look better. You can't really change your face. You can change your body. So that's how the whole thing came into play. Um, and but yes, slowly the whole initiative turns into an obsession, a passion, to do it in an extreme fashion. And I have this philosophy that either don't do anything or go all the way. There is absolutely no point in dabbling. Though we got criticized by a lot of people as to you are into a corporate career, you've got a family, you can just be walk a bit and be fit. What's the point to take it to an extreme level? When you go to parties, and you sort of restrain yourself from doing or eating certain food. So people would say, what's the sort of rush to go to an extreme thing? You're not a model, you're not a 20-year-old. Why do you want to do it? The whole fitness shoot and all. So, and be realistic. That's what people will tell you at every stage of the game, that be realistic. And my answer to them has always been that being realistic is the most common travel road to mediocrity. I mean, I don't want to be mediocre. So either don't do anything. If you want to do anything, do it to the best of your ability. If people are not laughing at your goals, they are hobbies. They're not goals. They're not big enough. You might as well not talk about it. These are not big goals, these are mere hobbies. That's what I would
I'm
say.
reminded of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He said, dreams are for dreamers, goals are for achievers. So I'm reminded of him. And
Indeed.
Amit, I have to share with you, you've actually, broken a lot of girls' hearts, because they've been messaging me the entire week asking if you're single. And I had to go back and tell them that you're married and you have two kids. And one of the, big questions that we had is that you have this full-time corporate job and a family, two kids, and to manage this kind of training. How did you do it? How did you prioritize and break down your time?
See, you have to make it a lifestyle. So fitness is more of a lifestyle, and the reason why I am sort of so much into it is, primarily because I believe that the mental benefits as well. So it's not just, these are not isolated containers. These are not sort of, Chinese walls.
Right.
So everything feeds into the other. So, fitness, I believe, has got far reaching, a much more bigger benefit on the mental side of things. So when you are working out, you're going to extremes, you are trying to sort of push yourself in many situations, you are trying to restrain yourself in many situations. And what you build is an absolutely fantastic frame of mind. And it feeds into your profession. So people who tell me that, what's the need to go to extreme in that case, I say it is absolutely interconnected to your careers, to your life, to everything. And prime example you have, is our Indian cricket captain Virat Kohli. I mean, he's a golden example of how a fitness lifestyle can completely transform you from an average, more than average, but let's say a decently talented bloke to somebody who's extraordinary. So he's a prime example. Once through a fitness lifestyle, you are able to achieve control over your mind, body, self. You can do great things. So fitness is a part of that jigsaw puzzle. It's not something which is mutually exclusive from your career, from your life. So I speak a lot, even in my articles, I speak a lot, which a lot of people don't really touch. People, are more focused on the aesthetic part of it. But I very regularly touch on that mental aspect of or benefits of working out and extreme working out in that sense. I mean, and I would want to recommend to the audience as well, go and read this book known as Autobiography of a Yogi.
Okay, we're gonna
You
put
know,
that
it
in
is
our
a life,
comments.
it
Yeah.
is an absolute life-changing book. Talks about self-control, talks about restraint, and how once you have control over your mind, body, and self, you are in an absolutely different space. Just like I said, Virat Kohli is completely transformed, from a decently average guy to one of the best, and he continues to take it on a different level. He's vegan now, so he's all these sacrifices, all these control and restraints, sort of makes you mentally tough. So that is one benefit which people should, and I aspire to. I am not there. I'm not preaching. I'm not there yet, but that is something what I aspire to do. I might not do it, at all, but that is my the second phase of the fitness journey is to look at that particular aspect of fitness. And and even why go and read the book, even our holy scriptures, and for the risk of sounding a bit bit old, justifying my age, is go and read Bhagavad Gita. I mean, if you go and read that, chapter 6 of the book will tell you that it's all about control over your body, temptations, your mind, and yourself. And then you are in a different league. You are enlightened. You are in a league of your own completely. So I think that's what keeps me going. So not just the aesthetic benefits of it, the push it gives you, especially in the last few months of the whole transformation. The push it gives you has far-reaching effects, far-reaching repercussions on your personality, on your mind. It's not just a physical thing.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
I know you were sharing with me that, just days before the photo shoot, you had to go without salt. You went without water for 40 hours. So that really speaks of the kind of mental toughness you have to build up to do that. And I see a lot of thumbs up coming for Virat Kohli and the book. So thank you. We're going to link the book and we're going to paste it in the comments box after this session. So, um,
Yeah,
where is all
talking.
this headed now, Amit? Like, what's next? What's in the future?
I think right now I'm in a phase, where it's about taking one step at a time. Let's take a week at a time, a month at a time, a round at a time.
Right.
But like I said, I always run up with a list of short term and long term goals. So yes, there are a few things in the pipeline. Let them unveil, as I tick them off. Which
Sure.
like I said, I'm very conspicuous in terms of when I'm ticking off anything off the plate. I sort of put it out in the open. Draws a bit of criticism as well. But yes, once it is done, I do talk about those things as well.
Okay, tell us something about your writing. What subjects do you like to write about?
Uh, See, it's pretty eclectic. I've written about your basic management, corporate finance, entrepreneurship. I've also written a lot on like I said, spirituality, also on fitness, motivation. I write a lot of fiction as well, which I don't put it out in the open. Which gives you internal satisfaction in terms of writing for the world. It's like I said, primarily business and fitness and those kind of topic. Astrology, I've written a very interesting piece on astrology, which will be out soon on I think world's #1 astrological website, which is clearing a lot of doubt on Saturn. I mean, it's technical, but it is titled as the curious case of Saturn.
Okay.
And it's a very interesting piece. Highly recommend people to read it. But yes, for personal satisfaction, it is primarily fiction. I write, and people who write would understand that writing is like writers trying to be exorcist of their own demons. It's like an escape from the whole claustrophobia of individuality, where you get a chance to live, even for a while, a different kind of a role, a different kind of a character. So yes, that is the kind of writing which is for myself. I don't really share it, but yes, I do write a lot on different topics as we discussed.
Okay, in fact, astrology was next on my list. So tell us something about that. We've got some questions from viewers on how you got into astrology. Did you have to sort of learn it? How did you get into this space?
See, it's a controversial subject. I think you are the first one to know it from the outer circle, because it becomes tricky. When people know that you are into this, it obviously excites a lot of questions and sometimes not really uh, the right thing to be doing it in a circle. Anyhow, how the whole thing came about. So I've always been, completely intrigued and flabbergasted by this whole science as to, how, movements of certain celestial bodies can have, such an impact on your thought process, your mind, your actions, your life, your death, your marriage, so many things. So I have always been, since from childhood, whenever I see an astrologer or anybody, uh, 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 with that kind of a role, I reach out to them. I pick up their brains, trying to understand. So long journey of before I started to self learn it, and I think over the last 6 to 9 months, I took a formal training in this, and I've started practicing and doing a lot of readings for especially people who are in the inner circle. And I really feel, don't think of it from what do you call any think of it as a science. It's basically, I'm a numbers guy. It's basically numbers. It's a science, and I firmly believe that if you have a command over your own astrological chart, so you understand what is in store for you.
Right.
It is like having a manual for your own working. It's like you get a gadget and you have the manual. You can read what it can do, what it can't do, and it can really serve as a guiding light in terms of how one should, which are the roads to take and which are the roads to avoid. So basic knowledge, and it's not that difficult as people think. Basic knowledge of astrology can absolutely put a different spin onto the kind of roads you take, and how to basically chart out your career. You can't control your destiny, but if you have the basic knowledge of astrology and you do reading of your charts very properly, uh, I believe this gives you immense power in terms of understanding. It's like sitting in a car. you can't really control the speed. It's going to go, as per, it is designed to, but you can at least change the direction a bit, or be prepared, for
For what's
certain
coming.
events. Yes, I think, we did a very quick reading for you as well. So you can probably give some sort of feedback as to how close. We didn't get a chance to speak on it, but if you have read the whole thing, if you got a chance to read it, maybe you can tell me how, it's 5 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, or how close it was to reality.
So,
So
I
so
think I would rate it as a 9 on 10. It was pretty accurate because you didn't really know what was going on. You only had the chart or the details in front of you. So from that perspective, it was pretty accurate.
okay,
And
that's very
as
good to
such, I
hear.
think that it's nice because it gives you some sense of as you pointed out with the analogy of the car, like what to
Sure.
expect, and just the little nuances, the little things you can do to kind of get through a certain phase or make the most of something. So that's always interesting to know. I mean, beyond that, and one very interesting thing you said, that you have to be good with numbers. So it reminded me of this film. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch it, Shakuntala Devi, Vidya Balan.
Yes,
So
yes.
interestingly, I remember when we were growing up, these ads used to actually come. Shakuntala Devi's ads used to come in TOI, and of course, she was into numerology as well. So I think there's definitely a strong connect there.
No, no, it's fun. It's fun. It becomes a kind of an addiction. Uh, yes. Yep.
Okay, so before we move to the rapid fire, just one more quick question about your mentorship program at Delhi School of Economics. You were saying that you wish that something like this existed when you were doing your masters there. So how are you making a difference?
Um,
Um,
See, all of us, I think at some point in time have thought about it. If we had a mentor in the formative years or in the younger years, would we have charted a different path for ourselves? And it could be personal, professional side. So I've always wondered this, how I would have charted my life during the education days, the college days, even in the early part of the career. If you had a mentor, who's looking out for your best interest, and who's telling you, okay, like I said, guiding light, this road to take, not to take, because a lot of things you cannot talk to your friends. They there'll be some sort of bias always. You
of
can't really talk
course.
to talk to your parents a lot of things. So if you have like this an elder brother kind of a figure, so I thought this is my way of of completing that circle, and basically doing it for younger guys. And it was a thought. I mean, I think almost 8 years back, this came as a thought. We started the whole mentorship program at Delhi School of Economics. And we used to have a very, very rigorous. So basically, the idea was to select one person every year, and mentor him throughout the whole year, personally and professionally. So, like an elder brother, he can come and you can help him in his career charting. You can help him if he's having, love issues or family issues or whatever. Just like an elder brother, to guide
Sure.
them on the whole career. Um, so that's how it started. So what we did was is to we used to go to campus every year, and have a very rigorous process. Find that hustle. Who's the guy who has that spark? Who's the guy who has that hustle? Who's worthy of that time? Because it sometimes I've spent hours listening to breakup stories of these guys or girls, guys mostly. So
Guys,
so it,
mostly.
it takes it takes the I'll come to that. It takes a lot of time. So you have to find the person who's worthy of that. Somebody who would make the most of that opportunity. So a very rigorous interview process. Group discussions and one-to-one interviews. So I would select one guy, and like I said, would groom him on professional, personal, basically give all of the learnings I have taken over the years to him, in let's say in a nutshell. And it was a massive success. So I think over the last 8 years, I've mentored guys, and many of them are working at a very senior position at Citigroup, at ENY, KPMG, Bain and Company, and they have really sort of come out as very, very bright individuals. Just a quick shout out to Chirag, Avishkar, Mohit, Aftab,
Yes,
Rana,
they've all
so
joined.
in case I have missed something. And mostly, fortunately, unfortunately, mostly guys, because, it becomes tricky, giving personal mentorship to girls, can be a bit controversial. So we end up, I think majority of them except one, all were guys. Um, but like I said, this is like my extended family. This is like, an army of people I have to just sort of, give a shout out, and they come up running. The kind of sort of love and respect they give me, is, I think, I'm very happy I did that. So in fact, I am getting more benefit out of it. So that's another learning, when you set out to give something to the to somebody who cannot sort of pay you back at that point, eventually gives you, in many different ways. And there is this joke which keeps on going around in the D school campus, that, so they lovingly call the bhai word. So they say, this guy is like, like Salman Khan launches girls in Bollywood. This guy, comes and launches guys, whatever that connotation means. But yeah, I find it pretty amusing. Uh, but yes, proud of all these guys. If they are listening, I think they are really my pillars. I any point in the night I have to give, they leave everything, and they come rushing. So it has been a great, like an extended family of seven eight people.
That's great. And we're getting a lot of thanks from Avishkar. So now I'm going to come on to my most fun part, Amit, which is the rapid fire. Okay. Now, what you need to do is we're going to throw questions at you, and you just need to say the first thing that comes to your mind.
He's trying to
Okay?
create a controversy of sorts.
Maybe, maybe not. You'll find out. Are you ready?
Okay, you want straight answers or funny answers?
As you like.
Okay,
We want real answers. That's
okay,
what this is about. Okay. So, anything you like, you can make it funny
sure,
as well.
sure.
Okay. Would you describe yourself as an extrovert or an introvert?
You have me in a spot of bother here. So see, I would call it introvert, but in a very, very paradoxical and an oxymoronic way, because I am a strange animal. So I'm constantly flirting, with that line which is between an introvert and as an extrovert. So it's very difficult. But if I have to pick one, I would, like I said, I would say, an introvert, in a very oxymoronic way.
Okay. Now you love to travel. What's your favorite travel destination or holiday destination? And I want you to tell us a goofy travel story or a moment.
Okay, that's a tough one. So travel, I would say Italy, because I think that's the most eclectic way. If you were to choose one location in Europe, it will be Italy. And goofy story is a very strange story. So I was in Brussels once, and my passport got stolen, by a female thief, which we saw in the CCTV camera. But
Oh my God.
to my utter surprise, the lady came back and sort of kept the rest of the stuff. It was an entire sort of bag and laptop and all. But she came and she threw back the passport in front of the hotel.
Oh,
And so it was very freaky. You don't really expect somebody to come back and give you your passport. So that's a goofy story.
a chore with a conscience. That's sweet of her, though.
See, ladies, even if they are stealing, that's why ladies are always, thousand times better than men, because even she's stealing, she had the heart to come back and give the most prized thing in that bag, because it was I think New Year's Eve. I was supposed to
What a
take.
shame.
I would have got stuck. It was a Sunday. I would have got stuck
Yeah,
very badly, and it's not easy to get, because I had to come back to Saudi somehow and get the whole documentation. So yeah,
of course.
I'm not keeping it
Well,
pretty
good
rapid. Yeah.
good to hear you got it back. What was the first thing you wanted to do when your photo shoot finished? The photo shoot with these pictures that we have in the poster.
I googled for the most authentic place to get a chole bhature. So we rushed to do that. Me and my, a big shout out to my training partner Puneet, here. I think We were talking
Yes.
about, he was the final puzzle of the entire jigsaw. So I think we did it together. So we were constantly searching, once we finish it, where can we find a Chole Bhature?
Your motto in life.
That's tough. See, I'm a very simple and shy guy who wants to be very rich and famous. So, that's the motto.
Okay. And if you were to rate who's the hottest actor slash actress in Hollywood and Bollywood, can you give us one each?
Okay. Talking about Bollywood, I think it has to be Shah Rukh Khan. As
Okay.
you know, we have a big Shah Rukh Khan club. Shout out to my SRK buddy Manish Kapoor and Gaurav Miglani. I think we have this small SRK club. And I would say Katrina Kaif as actress. Uh, Talking about Hollywood, I would say it's gonna be a tie between Sylvester Stallone and Leonardo. For actress, it has to be Kobe Smulders. I'm not sure how many follow her, but me
Okay.
and my pal keep on having a fight about her. Kobe Smulders. Yeah. So
Okay, cool. And Bollywood actress? Amit,
I
your
said Katrina
connection, I'm
Katrina Kaif.
losing you. Katrina, yeah, okay, got
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Yeah, I think your screen is getting a little blurred. Okay.
Should we do it
So we
again?
have, no, no, this is fine. We
Yeah.
we got
Yeah.
the answers. So
Yeah.
I have some questions coming from the audience. So Puneet is online. Hi, Puneet, and he's saying if you had to choose one of the below, CEO, a publication house, gym, or astrology. Oh, Puneet, you're putting him on the spot. He doesn't want
Say
to
say
choose.
say
See, he
say
wants to
say,
do
say it again.
everything. He
Say it
wants,
again.
so Puneet is saying that if you had to choose between, your dream job of being a CEO, being a CEO of a publication house, a gym, or an astrology center. And I'm saying that I
It's
think you're
very
putting
tough.
him on the spot. He wants to do everything. So,
He wants to destroy the entire 360-degree image. That is the genesis of this question. It's tough, tough.
okay.
I'll draw
Okay,
chits.
okay. Gaurav wants to ask you a question. What does he need to do to have a frame like yours, to look like you? I think we touched upon that briefly,
Yeah, yes,
Gaurav,
yes.
in terms of the
Uh,
dedication, the mental strength,
Take it
and
offline. We'll take it offline.
yeah,
Uh,
we'll
I
probably
think
take that
one
one.
thing I want to mention here. I think a lot of people, and it's our biggest learning. Myself and Puneet as well here. Um, our biggest learning was what the reason why a lot of people fail in this whole fitness journey is absolutely wrong setting of expectations. First of all, everybody starts out as if they're gonna look like this in 6 months. Doesn't happen like that. So wrong expectation is the biggest problem. Um, so that's what people need to correct. So your trainers will tell you, oh, you can work out 45 minutes a day, and it's that's you all you have to give is 1 hour of your day. You cannot get that transformation done without putting you know in the last 2 months at least 3 hours a day. It's not, you can't really do that unless you've got some great genetics, especially people in their mid 30s, early 40s. The whole muscle building process is, or let's say, the process of cutting down fat is primarily guided by the testosterone level in your body. So the moment you are aging through a natural process, it becomes equally harder. That's why people should start very early. We wish we could have started early. We were very late. You can't really achieve it naturally if you're doing it very late. So set the right expectations, and you will go a long way. Don't feel you're gonna do it in 3 months, 6 months, and don't feel a 45 minutes will do. Of course, it's not sustainable for senior corporate executives to be working out with families and two very a beautiful wife and two very noisy kids. It's very difficult to give those 3 hours, but you don't really have to give 3 hours throughout your life. It's the last, just like before board exams, people used to study for those 15-18 hours. You don't do that for the whole of the year. So that is what is required in the last 2 months. So set the right expect to answer Gaurav, get the right expectations, have the patience, because we were this close to leaving, every few months, discussing me and my training partners. Are we doing? Is it a waste of time? Are we doing it right? Should we? Because it takes a lot of time, money, and resources. And that's where the whole Pareto principle comes into
Right.
play. You might have heard that 80-20 20
80/20
rule.
rule. Right.
So I have devised a whole extension of that rule, which is the 95-5 theory. Puneet will give me a thumbs up on this one. A 95-5 theory. So to see the real impact of the first 95%, you have to focus on the last 5%, or in fact, so much of the last 2.5%. So for many years, we were giving our 95% and we were not seeing any results. And we thought, it's a waste of time, waste of money, waste of resources. It's just that when sort of dip your toes in the last 2%, 3%, that's where you get the real results. So that last 5% is what separates, like you say, men with the boys. You can keep on doing your 95%. It won't give you anything. The moment you start putting that 5%, the first 95% will surprise you. And you will see, oh, I was just, you must have seen that picture, two guys are trying to search for diamonds and trying to dig the hole. One guy turns back just before before finding the treasure.
Just before
So
finding the treasure.
it is the last 5% or 2.5% in life, which makes all the difference.
Great. Amit, that's so inspiring. And one last quick question from the audience. We're almost out of time. Sandeep sir, who's a yoga teacher, and in fact, he's my yoga trainer. He would like to ask you, what was your inspiration? Who or what was your inspiration through this difficult journey?
I think my friend, I would say Puneet, who was just commenting, my friend, because like I said, I was doing that 95% for the last 10 years. And completely dissatisfied and disheartened as to and I thought it's not even possible. I actually came to a conclusion that the way we wanted to look in that particular photo shoot, it's not really possible. It's him coming in with that last piece and solving the whole puzzle, what we were doing wrong. I think that changed the whole game. So get the right training partner, get the right people around you. That's more than half the battle. It's difficult alone. It's difficult.
I can see a lot
alone.
of thumbs up coming from Puneet there. So thanks a lot. Amit, any last comments from your side? We're almost out of time. And Sangeeta is saying that you're an awesome dancer and singer as well. Oh, I wish I'd known. We would have asked you to sing
really.
something for us.
Not really. I mean,
okay.
she's sort of putting her own personality traits, just to make me feel a bit better, So thanks to Sangeeta.
Thank you, Sangeeta, for that. And any last thoughts from you before we wrap up?
Okay, I think touched upon most of the things. Okay. I think I'll say this. There's a very beautiful German expression which is known as Zugzwang. So what Zugzwang means is that when you are in a situation where there is absolutely no way out, so you are caught between devil on the one side and deep sea on the other. It's how you behave in that situation. That's what defines you. So don't be afraid of failures. I'm still failing every day. Yes. So what I was saying is that it's how you behave in that particular situation is what matters. That will and life will keep on giving you those kind of situations to you. So how you react in a situation where there's no way out, that's gonna make the entire difference. It's the failures which. It's a God's way of testing if you are fit enough for a higher calling. If you are fit enough to go and fight for a higher goal, it's God's way of testing. So like they always say, in these times you separate the men from the boys. Some can get shatter, some can get better. So cherish those kind of situations as and when and if life gives you that. And don't listen to naysayers. People will discourage you at every stage of the game. Do whatever puts your soul on fire. Whatever gives you that satisfaction, do that. Don't listen to people. Things will never happen in a straight line. Sometimes you'll have to move sideways, sometime backwards, to come back on the path again. So don't be afraid to take unconventional moves. If it doesn't work out, doesn't work out. And aim so ridiculously high in life. So even if you fail, and I'm talking to myself, not preaching. This is what I keep on telling myself. Aim so absurdly, ridiculously high that even if you fail, your failure will be much above an average person's success. Who never gave it a shot. So don't listen to people. You want to try, I want to try, astrology. I went ahead and I learned it. I wanted to have a photo shoot. It gives me satisfaction. I went and I did it. Good or bad, there will always be people who will criticize and who will say that, what's the need, or, why you are spreading yourself too thin. I like it. I'm doing it. I mean, like I said, whatever gives you that satisfaction, keep trying. And that's what makes the whole life entertaining. And so that's what I can say. And this is a message I tell myself. Whenever my back is against the wall, wherever things are not going as I would like them to go. So that's where I tell the same thing to myself as well. So just clarifying, not preaching anyone. Whatever I tell myself every day, that's what I'm sharing with people who are with us.
That's great, Amit, and that is so true. So thank you so very much for all your time today and joining us and sharing these wonderful nuggets with us. It's been a real fun chat. I had a great time today. I know we had a few tech things, but I had a whale of a time today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and share some of the thoughts. It empties my head as well. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and keep the whole concept going. It's absolutely amazing. We're listening from real people, and we might sort of connect different ends, which can sort of allow people to go after their dreams. So thank you so much for doing this. And looking forward to seeing more episodes of real transformations. So very well done.
Great. Thanks so much, and thanks to the audience. You've been wonderful for all your support and your questions. So thanks a lot, Amit.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank
and
you so
wish you
much.
all the very best for everything you do.
Likewise.
We can't wait for your next photo shoot.
Probably some time away, but
by the way,
yeah.
all my girlfriends have driven me crazy.
Really? In what way?
In every way possible. They just had a whole lot of questions, starting with what you're going to wear for the interview, whether you're single or not. It's been a fun week for me. So thank you.
No, thank you so much. Thanks to you.
Okay, bye.
Best of luck. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.